The cycle of killing, violence, blood, and death. Man, honestly, teenage me loved Afro Samurai and also kind of hated it all at the same time. The action, the animation, the music, the voice of Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson. It was so good. But at the same time, the deeper you tried to look into it, was there truly any real substance to this series? Don't get me wrong. Honestly, it didn't tout a deeper story. No, no, far from it. It was all about the style, the action, the fun, the ingenuity when it came to the battles. That was what you were supposed to be specifically interested in, and they played their part well. But when you look into the story deeper, it's your classic story of revenge. Honestly, a lot of characters just don't survive in this series, so you can't really grow attached. But at the same time, that's the whole point. This isn't really a story meant to really be chewed on for long periods of time. It's a popcorn flick. You go in, you enjoy yourself, get some titties, get some blood, get some violence, get some cool bada bing, bada boom, you're done, you're out, you move on with your life. It's a good memory to have, but it's just that. It's a good memory. It's not really something that you chew on for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like there's not a discussion to be had about this series, the implications behind it, the endless cycle of how you want something that someone else has, so you're willing to die for it, even if it just simply comes with status. We live in that kind of world, and that's just how it's always been. We are people of habit. We are people who always want more than what we have. Humanity is all based on wanting a little bit more than your lot in life. But at the same time, what ends up happening along that way? How many people do we lose in the pursuit of our own ambition? At what point do you stop becoming a normal human person and just become a creature of need and want? And how much will you let that consume you until you are no longer even considered a person? You are considered a monster in the eyes of the people that you cut down along your path to greatness. Afro Samurai does let you have these questions linger, but it wasn't made for that. It was made to look cool, to be cool, and it is cool. But at the same time, you really have to wonder, was Afro Samurai ever meant to be more than what we see? Or is it simply the interpretation of people looking for meaning? Is there meaning behind this series? As a black man, I have to wonder, what does Afro Samurai mean to me? I don't see a lot of my kind of people represented in series like this, and every once in a while we come to the forefront because the African American community has such a deep love for those Asian flicks, be it Japanese or Chinese. You know, you get the black exploitation films of the old 70s and so on and so forth, the days of Bruce Lee and action kung fu films. But we also love The Way of the Sword because it means something better than yourself. There was a code of honor, but also a brutality behind it. Something just appeals to the African American sense when it comes to the works of the Japanese and the Chinese. It's just something so deeply ingrained in us. And to see such a meshing of those two styles, this is a cultural experience for people like me. So it begs the question, was Afro Samurai ever meant to be something that went beyond what it was originally created? Or was it created with purpose and intent, and it managed to meet that intention? I feel like that's kind of up to interpretation. Now, the creators could say one thing or another, but we'll never truly know what was in their minds as they were making this thing that is for most people considered to be a masterpiece. Most people will always look on Afro Samurai fondly because it didn't overstay its welcome. It got in, it did its thing, it got out, and it had the benefit of having a little bit of a sequel that made you think a little bit more on things. What happens when you get your vengeance? That's the thing. And that was a question that started to come more and more to the forefront around the time that it was created. That, hey, you get your vengeance, but then what? What's more what more is there to life? Afro spent most of his life questing for vengeance, losing friends and the people he loved along the way because of this endless pursuit of hatred and rage. It showed a man who, at one point, just had only one goal, got that goal, but then what? Just live your life? Is that even possible for a man whose life and legacy is soaked in so much blood and hatred? It raises a lot of questions. So maybe Afro Samurai is deeper than what I gave it credit for, what I ever will give it credit for. But that's ultimately up to interpretation. I have good memories of Afro Samurai. I don't think that it will ever actually change. And I think it's for the best that it stays that way. A good memory. I've revisited a few times, and each time nothing really changes in my mind. I don't see a little bit more. I don't feel a little bit more than what was already there. But let me know what you think about Afro Samurai. Is it a good memory for you, or is it better left forgotten? Until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.